Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. Our show is a production of our nonprofit organization, the Hemp and Cannabis Foundation, or THCF, and our affiliated political committee, Campaign for the Restoration and Regulation of Hemp, or CRRH. We're happy to be back after a brief hiatus as our show producer left the country for work, but he's back and we're back, and it should be every Friday now for the foreseeable future. We have a great guest for you tonight, Madeline Martinez. Hi, Madeline.
Hello.
The Executive Director of Oregon NORML and Board Member of National NORML, which is kind of redundant, National
Yes.
Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. And Mr. Tim Pate. How are you, Tim?
I'm very good tonight. How are you?
Very well. We're going to buy a few crucial seconds as we bring on our infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves. Okay. Hey, you know, we're an all-volunteer show here. This is a live show, too.
We are an all-volunteer show. It's been one for a long time.
Tim Pate.
You know, it's. I'm going to buy a minute or two here because even though sometimes, as you know, I've been on the show for almost 4 years now. I come on and I play a quick tune, and it's always been a nice thing for me, and I really do deeply appreciate all of the nice people out there who've come to me and said the things that they have about my music and my singing, and whether it's good or bad or on or off, you've always been kind. And over the years we've had a lot of guests on the show, as you know, and one of the guests that we've had repeatedly for some time has been a man named Will Flowers. And Will has been a friend of this show, a friend of many of you out there in our community here in Portland for many, many years. And we'd just like to pass on the sad news that Will Flower passed on this last week, and he will be sorely missed. And we have a clip that we'd like to run of him tonight rather than me doing any singing. We'd like for you to enjoy Will Flowers at one of his better moments on our show here on Cannabis Common Sense. And so if you're ready, they're ready for the clip, and we're going to let you run it.
To focus on Will over here, and we'll be ready to go. So once again, Will Flowers with Can I Have My MMJ. Hope you enjoy this.
Yes.
Hey everybody, I'm almost thinking about I should rewrite this thing with the new marijuana law passed, but a lot of it still applies. So here it goes. This is a brand new song, and I wrote it especially for the show, and hopefully says everything we need to say. I say, hey, 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 don't take it away. You gotta let me have my MMJ. I don't care if you don't like the name. It's the safest thing I've found to get control of my pain. Well, they made it a crime to have opinions like mine, but the medicine really makes me feel fine. Oh yeah, baby, but I know this medicine is fame. They brainwashed all the people in 1937, but this medicine came straight from heaven. If you don't know, then you can't even say. In so many ways I need my MMJ. And if you won't listen and you don't get the point, you don't like my meds because it's shaped like a joint. A long time ago the old pharaoh said, let's see, why don't you bring some of that herb you rubbed on my knee? Took away the pain and it calmed down my shakes. maybe to work on this Egyptian headache. If you don't get it, then you don't get to gripe. You don't get my medicine, 'cause I smoke it in a pipe. All down through history, people have used MMJ. In fact, my Lord Jesus anointed with it when he prayed. When you take a sip of this and you feel your pain is lifted, it's obvious to all of us that this herb is heaven gifted. You still don't believe it when you read it in the paper. We figured that out, how to take it in a vapor. Yeah. Lots of painful people missing out in this nation. Sentenced to pain limbo on the pain reservation. 'Cause the oil and the pharma and the plastic men are running this administration. It's time the voters became adults and faced reality. Stop denying all the good results and prevent one more police-related casualty. 'Cause they're the ones that make pot unhealthy. Yes, God has given us a beautiful world. Why do you think that aliens keep visiting us? This is the only planet that has things that make them feel good, like beer, and things taste chocolatey. Yeah, we've got all the raw ingredients, like barley, potatoes that taste good with lots of salt. But all the things that grow right here, there's nothing we like better. Have our cake and eat it too, in cookies and ganja butter. If you haven't tried it, then you cannot say how many ways I need my J. If you don't listen, then you don't get the point. You don't like my medicine 'cause it's shaped like a joint. So hey, 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 don't take it away. Gotta let me have my MMJ. I don't care if you don't like the name, it's the safest thing to get control of my pain.
Mr. Will Flowers passed away this week.
Go for it, Will.
We'll be missing him.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Well, welcome to the show, Madeline. How are you this week?
I am doing really well. Been busy working at the legislature.
Right.
And trying to head off some of the bad legislation that we think is going to be, well, actually we know is going to be discriminating against employees.
Like this 2497.
Well, 2497 is actually very frightening. I don't know how many of you follow the legislature, but there is a bill out there that we've known as 465, which is an employee discrimination bill that wants to let employers get to choose whether you get to stay or whether you get to go and be fired, and one of the unemployed people in Oregon, possibly another person living under a bridge, and we don't have any more vacancies.
Yeah, and they're
so many
basically
homeless
saying if you
people.
have a medical marijuana card, you could be fired without any rights.
Right, because they
Kind
do
of
a
a
UA
scary
which
thing.
tests for metabolites, you know, and that's really frightening. So we're out there fighting that, trying to head it off. Representative Peter Buckley has come out with a patient's bill of rights, so to speak. It's a really short bill, 2497. But I want to encourage all of you to go to the, I'm sorry, wrong one. Representative Buckley's is House Bill 2503.
2503 is the good one.
And it's the good one. And you need to call him up and let him know that you support him. Because that's really important. You know, we call them up and we complain to them, but many of us don't take the time to say, thank you. Thank you for working hard and being our champions. But Schaffler is the gentleman. I'm sorry, that was the first bill, House Bill 2497, and that is the scary one.
That's the bad one.
Yeah, and then someone else came up with another one. Gerard came up with Senate Bill 426, and that's another employee discrimination bill. And yet another Senate Bill 426 27 is really offensive. Plus, it defines presence of metabolites as proof of impairment. So metabolites don't tell if you're impaired. We're trying to see if we can come up with an impairment test, and some people are really working hard on that. I know a couple of our constituents, one of our volunteers here is getting the message to Schaffler about the impairment laws and how marijuana or cannabis happens to affect driving. And that's a really important one. It came out by Paul Armentano, the deputy director of NORML.
There's a bill in Montana as well that said if you'd ever been if you had a medical marijuana permit and you were found to have THC in your blood system, they could take away your driver's license for life.
Oh, that's
one that's hopefully been struck down in Montana. I know Montana NORML is working hard against that one. There's a whole set of bills out there. They're constantly at work to change the medical marijuana laws around the country, and we just have to stay on the forefront of those and keep educated in terms of what our legislators doing.
Exactly.
And if we don't, we're going to suffer because not paying attention.
Right. We're government. We have to keep them on their toes. You know, we can't just vote them in and let it go. And mentioning that, let me tell all of you to call Obama, President Obama. We all love him and supported him, but the raids are continuing in California. 5 more, dispensaries were raided, and he had made a promise to all of us during his campaign that he would stop the raids and, look at it from states' rights perspective and allow medical marijuana to continue.
He did say that to the Ashland Daily Tidings and to the Oregonian both. And yesterday, his press secretary came out and said that he opposes these raids and that he will be stopping them. So far, they still have Bush appointees running the Drug Enforcement Administration, and he's going to make his announcement soon. But, I think he could end those raids just by telling them, stop the raids. Or if he doesn't want to do it directly, he could have his new Attorney General, Eric Holder, issue that, because he's in charge of the DEA. And so Obama has done some good things in making these announcements that's going to go through, but we need him to follow up.
We need action, and you need to call him, and you can reach him at 202-456-111. So it's 202-456-1111. Did everybody get that?
Get the White House. You'll get a person during working hours. You will talk to a real human being, but you have to
you guys
remember
got me
that
going all back and forth here.
That they're on Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So if you're watching on the West Coast, you got to make adjustments for they're up at 6 a.m. and they're closing at 2 p.m. So remember that. Now, if you're watching tonight, February 6th, this is our 476th show, and we'll be taking your phone calls live tonight at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We have a caller. Hello, caller. You're on our show. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
I can hear you guys over my TV.
Okay, well, there's a delay there, so try to listen through the phone.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Now I can hear you.
Good.
I'm doing good. I just have a question. How do you get rid of white flies? And do their eggs come in the soil when you buy the soil?
Sometimes they do. I
had none until I bought Black Magic soil.
I've had them in black gold myself in the past, but I would just recommend a treatment with neem oil. If you're just starting to use the soil, in fact, neem oil will go in on top of the soil and it won't harm it and won't cause any problems for your plants long term. Problem with neem oil is if you use it in the last 4 or 5 weeks of the flower cycle, it'll give your flowers the flavor of neem, which is not very pleasant compared to the flavor of cannabis. Huh?
What about hemp soap?
That'll help. It'll mess your pH up, though, in the long term. You don't want to put it in your soil.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I like to use Dr. Bronner's hemp soap.
Yeah.
A little bit of peppermint. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it does real well for wiping out insects on the surface of the plants, but you don't want to treat your soil with it.
You have to be really careful, too, on your parts of water with it. That's right. Because a lot of people have burnt their flowers with that.
It's a concentrated soap. You do have to mix in like a spoonful per gallon or something like that.
Make sure you get those ratios correct.
If you're watching the show tonight, you can call us again at 503-288-4448. That's 4448. There's one thing that we should talk about, Madeline, that's the main news about marijuana this week, and that's the Olympic gold medal winner, Michael Phelps. He won 14 gold medals,
Yes.
8 in the last Olympics, breaking the world record for the most Olympic gold medals. And you can sure tell that smoking marijuana has not hurt his athletic prowess. He, who else, he can win 8 gold medals in one Olympics. So I feel sorry for the guy that he's out there apologizing for this. Of course, he's just a young kid. He's only 23. I mean, that's young to me. But I think, it'd be better if he stood up and said, damn right I smoke marijuana, and I'm going to win some more gold medals.
Yeah. Well, I thought he should have said, I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
That one, too.
That would have been a good one. But that's another thing that we should be talking about, because Kellogg actually got rid of Michael.
That's
They're
right.
not going to have him as endorsing them
And
anymore.
I can see you have the 800 number to call Kellogg.
I've
got
got
tell
it.
Kellogg that we want Michael Phelps on our cereal boxes.
Well, tell them that you're not going to buy their product anymore. That's what I did. I called them up early this morning and let them know that I was going to be boycotting them. And
Right.
that's it. And I got 3 grandkids at home, and
They eat
use
a lot of cereal.
Kellogg. Yeah, so they're going to lose out in the long run. I think it's disappointing that they've done this. And here's the number. I hope you have your paper and pens ready out there. 800-962-1413. And that's Kellogg. Call them. They actually have a special line just for Michael Phelps complaints. So here we go. One more time. 800-962-1413.
All right.
I hope everybody got that. Maybe we can put it up back on the screen. It's really important to do this, folks, because if we continue to let these name brands do this, we're lucky Speedo didn't get rid of him. And then there was an erroneous report that
Subway sandwiches,
Subway, but
right.
it's not true. USA
Continue to
Today
eat your Subway
or
sandwiches.
USA Magazine said that that was incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go ahead and keep on getting Subway
He was also
sandwiches.
stripped of his ability to compete for 3 months.
3 months suspended.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to have to boycott the Olympics, I think. I'm not going to watch.
Yeah.
I think it's disgraceful that they would treat an adult in that way.
And then the judge in some South Carolina county says he's going to try to charge him. There's no law against smoking marijuana. It's possession of marijuana.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
the judge should go back to law school, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's just grandstanding.
We just need to change this. This is outrageous. Outrageous. But, we can keep doing it. The other night I was at a town hall meeting and Senator Rosenbaum was there and she called on me and she thought I was going to ask a medical marijuana question. I said, no, actually, I just wanted to let you know that government statistics show that over 300,000 people live in Oregon and they're cannabis consumers, your constituents. And the whole audience just applauded when I told them we should actually regulate it and pay for health care and get out of this economic crisis, and they really took notice.
Well, fortunately, now that I'm a medical marijuana patient caregiver, I can grow my own medicine. That saves a lot of money. But until I did that, I spent $300 a month on marijuana. And so you take $300 a month, multiply that out over a 12-month period, you're talking, I was spending $3,600 a year on marijuana. Now, let's say we take our 300,000 Oregonians who use marijuana and say they don't smoke as much as me, but say they just spend $1,000 a year. Well, we're talking $30 million. And I think $30 million will go a long way toward helping the budget deficit. I hear they're going to be closing schools early. They're cutting back many public services. We need public revenue, and taxing cannabis is a good way to raise some of that. So I know you've talked to some of the Diane Rosenbaum and others who talked about introducing bills that would allow the regulation of marijuana.
Well, at least they're thinking about it, because the fact of the matter is we're hemorrhaging money. We have no resources in the state, so it only makes sense to go to this resource that is right now just being given to the black market.
Yeah.
And I'd rather see kids have health care. Not to say, I realize people have to make a living, but I just think that it's more sensible to regulate it than to fight it. It's a losing battle. It really is.
Hey, if you're out there tonight and you have a question for us, give us a call at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. We'll be taking your calls, for about another 35 minutes or so here. And I just got back from Las Vegas, seeing some patients there, and we're just spreading out everywhere. things are really booming for us in Michigan. Our Michigan clinics are just packed next week, so
Great.
I've got to fly out on Sunday to go there, and we have 120 patients lined up over 3 days, and a waiting list already of about 40 more.
Wow.
So I can see, I think that Michigan will outgrow Oregon here within a few years.
Good.
Of course, they have 3 times more people, so that helps.
Well, I think it's great that it's just spreading across the country like wildfire. Well, it's taken quite a bit of, not really wildfire, but actually it's just happening now. It's just changing. I can feel
Like
the
a grass
momentum
fire.
behind us.
There's
just
that
pushing.
John Trudell song who came to our Hempstock Festival, Grass Fire. He likes to say, my DNA needs THC.
Yes.
We have a caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on our show.
Regarding what your instructions were to me, you still there?
You just started. I'm not sure what your instructions were. You want to start?
Okay. I
Start
didn't
from
know
the
it was on
top.
the air yet. The fellow said something about instructions. I was going to recommend, and this can be documented in Life Extension magazine, but I was going to recommend boycotting Kellogg's anyway, or any cereal for that matter, because it's all cooked dead food. It's worthless. And if you go to Life Extension magazine, go to their November 2005 issue, Dr. Evan Perricone wrote an article in there about the relationship between obesity and inflammation, and it said pro-inflammatory foods to avoid: pizza, pasta, bread, crackers, cookies, chips, cereals, grains.
Starches primarily.
All that food is, especially when it's cooked, is all dead pro-inflammatory food that just creates more health problems. It becomes a burden instead of a benefit. So
Yeah.
I'd recommend telling Kellogg's, unless they come out with a completely 100% hemp seed cereal that's not cooked, they can take their cereal and put it in their ear, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well,
No, good
I can agree
suggestion.
with that. Haven't seen my doctor recently. They told me to cut out the carbs, and all those things you say are just pure carbohydrates. So,
If you don't believe what I'm saying, go to lifeext.org and look up the October and the November issue of 2005. The October issue was about the cause of atherosclerosis, and it's directly related to all that crappy food that we eat, dead cooked foods, and we effectively lose about 1/3 of our life, according to Dr. Bob Marshall when I listened to his radio show called Healthline Live. So it becomes a burden instead of a benefit, and it's just insanity to keep eating that crap. So if I was Michael Phelps, I'd tell those people to go stick it in their ear, and maybe have the people that make those hemp seed products from Canada, the hemp seed oil and the
Sure.
hemp flour and the
That's a
hemp
great-
you
protein.
got one of them right there.
And by the way, he would have been a lot better off if he would have been caught with a vaporizer.
I agree with that. I quit smoking years back and just used my vaporizer. But thanks for your
I still
call.
maintain you guys ought to put up another little banner there in front of on your desk that says "Be Wise, Vaporize."
Oh,
Because
nice.
I like that.
The only thing that all these blue-nosed, so-called anti-pot people, the only real complaint that they could actually make about the negative effects of pot is if a person smokes it.
Yeah, you'll get bronchitis after 20 years or so.
Yeah, we hear that all the time.
Vaporizing it, eating it, I don't see a problem with it at all. So,
No, I had bronchitis after 30 years of smoking, and within about 3 weeks of using my vaporizer and stopped smoking 6 years ago, that all went away. But thanks for your call. Thanks
yeah,
for
you guys keep up the good work. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
trying.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, this is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Purple
some very.
punch.
Maybe somebody out there can get a close up on some of these flowers.
They are
Somebody brought in. It's
lovely.
obviously very fresh. The stems are very, very green, and it smells.
Lovely.
Once again, we love for you folks out there to have smell-o-vision. But what is this strain?
Purple punch.
Purple punch. I can see where the purple's at. Really contrasts with the stems.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, it does. You don't. The fluorescent green stems don't come out on the TV screen there quite so well, but boy, they are. Anyway, if you have another question for us tonight, give us a call at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. And I can happy to announce that next week we'll have our Hemp News segment back. We almost had it back tonight, but we ran into a computer glitch at the last moment. So next week and from here on out, we'll have some news at the top of each show, which I'm sure will make a lot of people out there happy.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good to tell the folks the news. I know there's one recent article on, and I pulled up to read about how cannabis maintains homeostasis, or a healthy body metabolism. And so cannabis does such a varied number of different things medicinally. It's really a miracle drug that
it is.
We've talked about on this show many times, but the studies that come out every week on it just seem to expand into new areas. I had no idea, for instance, until last year, that when a new study showed that it helped promote bone growth and bone healing.
Israel's doing so much great research on it.
Yeah.
They're just leading the way. We were just watching that one of the shows that there's so many documentaries on it
yeah,
too.
CNBC
It's
had
pretty
one,
exciting. It really is amazing.
Yeah, there's a doctor at University of Jerusalem, Raphael McCollum. In 1972, he discovered THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, and then in 1991, he discovered the endogenous analog, anandamide for THC, and the receptor system. And that opened up a whole new realm of research on neuroscience.
It's amazing.
And so they're discovering more and more about it all
tumors.
today. Yeah.
Shrinking tumors, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's and well, that's one of the things. Marijuana smokers are less likely to have lung cancer than people who never smoked at all, according to recent studies.
My doctors are always very surprised at how well I'm doing. Each time I go back, it's something else has improved, and so that for me, it's great.
I had a friend who has IBS, and he'd had attacks every day for weeks, and he was telling me how smoking helped his IBS. He said when he felt an attack coming on, if he smoked, the attack would be over within an hour. Well, I told him, well, what you've got to do is start eating it. And I gave him a handful of leaf capsules and a handful of bud capsules. And he came back a week later and said since he started taking those capsules, he had not had a single attack. And he's not taking capsules to get high. He's just taking them 3 times a day for the CBD content. And that will stop the IBS and spasms and seizures and does so many different beneficial things. We have another caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
I can't hear you.
We can hear you, though. There's a glitch here. We're a volunteer show. Can you hear us now?
I can barely hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay,
Loud
great.
and clear.
I was just calling to let you know, anybody that has any doubts about marijuana being medicine. My husband has had chronic pancreatitis for years. A lot of pain, a lot of nausea and vomiting. He's been an M&M patient for a year now. And as a matter of fact, we're coming to see you tomorrow.
All right.
He has gone off a lot of his medications that the doctors have put him on and has been able to gain 10 pounds. And it's just been a miracle for him.
That's great.
So I just wanted to let anybody that might be watching that might be doubtful, that this really is medicine.
Yeah, it certainly is.
And I'm proud to be able to help him with it.
Thank you. Thanks for your testimonial.
Uh-huh. Yeah, have a good evening.
All right, thanks for calling. Have a good night.
These are the beautiful stories that people like yourself should call and let your legislator know, your representative, your senator, let them know what a difference it's made in your husband's life and in your life.
Yeah, we see that every day in our clinics helping patients where they're able to get off massive doses of narcotics and analgesics and use cannabis without any detrimental effects of cannabis. They are able to return to a much higher quality of life in terms of the narcotics just knock them out. And with cannabis, doesn't completely eliminate the pain, but it certainly helps them deal with it. And in the case of that condition I was talking about a moment ago, IBS, the fellow wouldn't believe me that taking it orally would do that until he actually tried it. And it stopped his attacks altogether. Where the smoking had helped control the attacks, taking it orally in a capsule form or in a food form would have done the same thing. Allowed him to just not have the attacks at all.
Right, just stops
He'd had them every day for 3 weeks leading up to that. And since he started taking the capsules, he hasn't had one yet.
The quality of life is just amazing. It's so important. It's not the quantity, but the quality of
and
your
this
life.
one fellow a while ago was talking about Life Extension Magazine. Robert Malamud at Colorado State University in Colorado Springs echoes Jack Harris' thing that if you take cannabis, you're going to live 2 years longer. It's like resveratrol in terms of its life extension properties. We have another caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hey, I guess I wanted to find out from you guys. And by the way, good show. I haven't really seen you guys before, so this is really informative.
Well, welcome.
And it's about time. I mean, me and quite a few others, friends, and we, believe in what you guys are talking about and stuff. And I guess my question to you is more about the political kind of implications, like with a new administration coming in. Do you guys foresee like a more kind of reasonable or pragmatic kind of approach or attitude towards the, legalization?
Certainly,
versus we had such a kind of a Nazi,
hardcore reactionary Republican oil baron president.
Right.
Yeah, now we have a person who, well, it's the first time I've actually been proud of having a president in my lifetime. I mean, I liked it when Clinton came in office, but, I definitely wasn't inspired the way I am about President Obama. And he has said he's going to end the raids on medical marijuana patients. As Madeline noted, there were 5 raids last week on medical marijuana dispensaries down in California. And then yesterday, the press secretary for President Obama said he opposes those raids and he'd be appointing people who'll stop those raids.
Oh, good. I
Well,
did
that's
not
the,
know that.
the
That's
best
good
news
that's
we've
good
heard
to hear.
so far.
And he wants to approach it scientifically, and that's just a huge step in the right direction. As
all the science is on our side.
People.
There's no doubt about it. So if he looks at the science and he allows people to look at the science, then things are strongly on our favor. There were 2 different polls of issues, one on Obama's site, change.gov, and one on a private nonprofit site, change.org. Both of them asked, what policies should we encourage President Obama to implement in his new administration? In both cases, the number one issue by a significant margin was legalizing marijuana and allowing medical marijuana patients access to medical marijuana. They topped out the polls on both of these polls, and that sent a strong message to the legislators in Washington, D.C., and to the Obama administration. This is an issue whose time has come. We're getting stronger and stronger support for this. Currently, there's just a poll that Normal Foundation did with Zogby that said that 73% of Americans favor medical marijuana and access to medical marijuana by patients. That just came out yesterday as well, I believe.
It certainly did. And you know what else is encouraging is that he said he's going to go through our budget and just go through it line by line and take out where we're hemorrhaging money. And hopefully he'll notice that the war on marijuana is just ridiculous. It's not going to change. No matter how long they put us in jail, no matter what they do, we're not going to stop smoking.
We can get rid of a quarter of all the criminal justice costs just by legalizing marijuana, and that doesn't look at the revenue it's going to generate. And once marijuana is legalized, industrial hemp will take its rightful place in our economy. We'll be wearing a lot more hemp clothes. We'll be eating healthy hemp foods. We'll be driving our cars on ecologically sound hemp fuels.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I'm more excited about. I kind of see that kind of on the horizon, and it just seems like he's more in tune with, the guy thinks through. He's not held to ancient belief.
It's not a moral issue
righteous,
with him.
It's a change of generation,
evil versus good. You know what I mean? I mean, he's more pragmatic. He thinks for today and for the world that we live in now.
Well, just listening to science after 8 years of a science-free presidential administration, and a faith-based foreign policy.
Right.
It's nice to see a return to logic and science.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your call.
Totally agree. Hey, you guys, you're doing a great job. That's a good-looking bud sitting on there.
It certainly is. Thanks for your call. Remember, we're live here every Friday night at 8 o'clock. And you can go to YouTube and watch us. Just type in Cannabis Common Sense in the search bar at YouTube, and you can watch it anytime, night or day.
Or you can come down here to our live audience. We have a live audience tonight. Let us hear from you. Yay.
Hello, live audience. And so, yeah, we have a live audience here at 2722 MLK, Northeast MLK, or Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have a film clip we're going to run. We'll be back in just a second to take more calls and talk more about how hemp can save the world. Yes. Stay tuned.
Wheat. Corn's a cash crop in Iowa, and in Northern California's Emerald Triangle, their business is weed. A whole lot of weed. A CNBC original, Marijuana Inc. premieres next.
The following is a CNBC original production.
Marijuana is the most profitable illegal narcotic.
This is a huge business. In California alone, it is the #1 crop.
There's at least 13 gardens within a mile radius of our home.
13 gardens right around your house.
Yes. Wow.
Thousands of growers, millions of users, and a market in the billions.
How much money was coming in to your marijuana smuggling operations every year?
About $50 million.
It's a multi-billion-dollar business rife with guns, gangs, and plenty of money. I'm Trish Regan. Join me for an unprecedented look inside America's marijuana industry.
I'm here to eradicate the scum that have infiltrated my county and made it nationally known as a producer county of good marijuana.
And now, the CNBC original documentary, Marijuana Inc., Inside America's Pot Industry.
Welcome to Ukiah, California.
The scene, a county fair. 2 hours from San Francisco, but a world away from the urban bustle. Here, families stroll the fairgrounds. Future farmers examine prized livestock. This is Northern California's Mendocino County. At first glance, a picture postcard of the far west. But beneath its beauty lies a controversial, profitable, and increasingly violent criminal enterprise.
Yeah, 5 pounds here, and then 4 pounds in the baby crib. Right here.
An exploding underground industry, the marijuana trade. Marijuana is being grown in homes, backyards, even our national parks.
This is ground zero for marijuana. Nobody produces any better marijuana than we do right here.
This is as natural as growing corn to me.
Ukiah Morrison is a Mendocino pot grower. In most places, that would make him an outlaw, but not in this neck of the woods.
This is the lifeblood of the county, and it has been for more than 30 years.
Morrison walks a fine line, growing as much marijuana as he can without triggering a legal crackdown. He can do that because authorities here are overwhelmed by the sheer number of growers. They're also hampered by conflicting state, federal, and county laws governing marijuana. It is the major cash crop here. A county commission study reports pot accounts for up to 2/3 of the local economy.
I don't think there's anything more important in this economy, so to take this out would be a major blow.
Though reliable numbers are hard to come by, that wave of pot in Mendocino County is estimated to be worth more than $1 billion, a sizable chunk of a national market for marijuana believed to be in the tens of billions of dollars. It all begins right here with this marijuana plant. This is a typical pot garden. There are thousands of these all over Northern California. This is just a tiny portion of a huge harvest in this area that's known as the Emerald Triangle.
All right, there goes that audio. It's a lot easier to talk now. So there's just a little plant that looks kind of like some of our plants.
Yeah, it does.
Tall ones.
Reminded me of your garden, exactly.
We
Notice
went
how
down.
our eyes lit up when she was touching all those.
Oh,
lines?
yeah.
We went down to Williams, Oregon, a little town right on the border between Oregon and California, and we had entered our Dynamite strain, which came in third place in the Oregon Medical Marijuana Awards back in December, and we won third place down there as well for Dynamite. So the trophies are mounting. We've got to get a good display case for those in our office. I'll bring some next week, so we'll have them here to take a look at. We have another caller, though. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Yeah, I just had a question. My wife has the restless leg syndrome, and I was wondering if that would help.
You mean help? Does that qualify for medical marijuana? Is that your question?
Right. Yeah, I'm new to this. I've heard a couple of people say she might get help from that.
You know, I've heard that some people have qualified because it's a spastic condition. It causes muscle spasms. That's the legs are spasming during the restless leg syndrome thing. And if that is so diagnosed, then they could qualify for medical marijuana.
You know, I always hesitate to give medical advice since I'm not medically trained, but it does sound like a spastic condition, which of course is covered under the conditions.
And I can't make the hard call right here and now. It depends on your doctor and what has transpired, but it might qualify.
Well, now, in that case, do you speak with your normal doctor about something like that, or do you have to go to a different doctor for something?
Well, it all depends. You know, your normal doctor, you certainly can speak with them about it, and if they're sympathetic, as 1/3 of the doctors in Oregon are, then they might issue a medical marijuana permit. If your doctor won't do it, though, there are specialty clinics and doctors who can help you with that.
I see.
And it's really, you really should start with your own doctor if you feel confident, you know, in that doctor, and let them know that you would like to try it. And many of them are supportive, and if not, just take your diagnosis on.
Tim, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I saw a piece this week on the internet where Rick Baer had submitted to the health department for some additional categories to be listed under the medical marijuana categories that you can get your license for, and so including PTSD.
What year was that?
Huh?
What year was that?
Just this week.
Rick Baer?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah.
I think you're talking about Ed Glick.
Oh, I am talking about Ed Glick.
You
yes,
are.
yes.
You are.
Ed, did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did, and it's for some emotional conditions, PTSD, anxiety, depression.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, like they have in California, but we just
added PTSD, and they're the first state that's explicitly put a psychological condition into the list of conditions. They put PTSD as one of the conditions, and so outside of California, which really doesn't limit any conditions, it doesn't list any conditions. It's the only state where PTSD will qualify now.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, don't they have a dispensary built into their law?
They just passed a new law, and they only have 200 patients statewide right now. But the law's just expanded dramatically with the inclusion of neuropathic pain and spinal cord injuries and PTSD. And they allow nonprofits to grow, I think, a limit of 95 plants. They can grow up to 95 plants and sell it to patients under a licensed system.
Where's this?
So far, in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Right.
So far, New Mexico is the first state that will license cultivation for sale to patients.
Well, it's
so we're pretty
definitely
excited
a
about
huge
that.
step in the right direction.
It is. It is.
That's one of the things that we'd like to see is in our law, we'd like to see a slight change to one of our sections, Section 7, that would allow for any registry identification card holder responsible for the grow site to be able to be reimbursed by any other card holder. It just makes sense, like the next incremental step in the program's progress.
Well, a lot of patients just don't have access out there. And so, right now, our foundation, if a patient's undergoing chemotherapy or radiation therapy in regard to cancer, then we have some surplus for those patients.
Sure.
But we just can't meet the entire demand, obviously, with our limited supply and what we can grow. But we're happy to be able to meet that.
That's exactly it. If we could just have that accessibility, because we're not able to gain the way our program's set up. It's really difficult for everyone to find the access that they need.
Exactly.
On a regular
if you're undergoing
basis.
chemotherapy or radiation therapy, you don't have time to wait for a crop to harvest and everything. You need it yesterday.
Immediately.
We have another caller. Hello. I think we have a world-renowned cannabis breeder on the phone. Hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? Bobby B here.
Hey, Bobby B, the originator of the famous Selwood Thunder strain.
Yeah, hey, listen, I just wanted to call you guys and let you know that my friend called me and said that tomorrow on Geraldo on Fox News that they're going to be talking about Michael Phelps. And they're going to be interviewing my buddy Rob Van Dam, so everybody's interested in listening to that. They'll be talking pot. So.
All right. Well, Madeline was just saying that Geraldo has been on the advisory board of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws for several years.
Yes.
And I heard yesterday on Fox TV he called bullshit on the media denouncing Michael Phelps' use of cannabis.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
Hopefully he'll do that in a show on Fox tomorrow.
Thank you, brother, for calling in with that great information.
Absolutely, guys.
Hope everybody watches.
You're doing a great job. And the meeting's not tomorrow. Is that right, Madeline?
No, the meeting's actually... No, it's not tomorrow. It's actually next Saturday, the 14th of February, Valentine's Day. So I hope all our sweethearts come out there. We got something for them.
All right. That sounds good. I'll be
I know
there.
you had some neat candies last year.
Wow.
Oh, I'm telling you, I love the candies.
Yeah, I hope everybody gets out there. We're going to ask our sweethearts to actually sign a couple of postcards to their representatives to let them know that we don't support what they're trying to do to us by discriminating against employees.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're going to keep being proactive.
And yeah, that's right. Be proactive. Make those phone calls to your senators and to the press, and just let them know how you feel about it. And it really makes a difference. So
it does.
So hey, well, you guys are doing a great job. You take care, and I'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you, Bobby.
Have a good one, Bobby. If you're out there and you have a question for us, give us a call. We got about 10 minutes left or so. 503-288-4448 is the number here. It's 503-288-4448. And if you're out there and you are looking for a doctor who can help you get medical marijuana, or you need more information about that, you can call us locally at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. If you're outside of the Portland area, we have a toll-free number. It's 1-800-723-0188. That's 1-800-723-0188. We have doctors all across the western United States and now in Michigan who can help you get a medical marijuana permit. So for more information, call us locally at that number on your screen, 503-235-4606. Or anywhere in the U.S., you can call us at 1-800-723-0188. And I also would like to announce that this show is now streaming live on the internet as we speak on Ustream. That's the letter U, stream, USTREAM.TV. And it should be live every week from now on. So if you're out there away from Portland, or you haven't paid your cable bill or something and you've got internet access, you'll be able to go to Ustream.tv and watch the live show, Cannabis Common Sense, every Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Time.
Thanks to Paul White out there, our great volunteer. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Good work. Get the word out. Spread it all over.
We have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the show.
Hi, Paul. It's Radical Russ.
Hey, Radical Russ. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, wanted to spread some news about the boycott that Normal's putting on.
Yeah. Please do.
Okay, if you're out there and you heard Michael Phelps, of course, got dropped by Kellogg's, the makers of Pop-Tarts and Cheez-Its and Frosted Flakes, which, they picked the wrong people to disappoint, I think.
It does not sound like a very good category of health food there. Your Cheez-Its and your Pop-Tarts doesn't sound like it would have helped Michael Phelps win any Olympic medals there.
That's right. And the big point here is that Kellogg's didn't have a problem signing Michael Phelps, even though he had pleaded guilty to a DUI when he was 19 years old. So
right.
He was using alcohol illegally, but when he uses marijuana illegally, they feel like they should drop him.
Well, that's another thing. They talk about how he was using it illegally. The laws on marijuana prohibit possession of marijuana. They prohibit the sale and distribution of marijuana. There is not a law against smoking marijuana. So how can they say that he was violating the law? He didn't possess it. He simply inhaled it.
Well, if people want
I possess oxygen because I've inhaled it? I don't get that.
Yeah, if if people want to get involved with the normal boycott of Kellogg's to find out what products there are, just visit the stash at stash.normal.org/boycott Kellogg's. We've got icons. We've got, and what we're starting now is to get people to take photos of themselves trashing the Kellogg's products and send them on in, and we'll post them online.
I like that. So, yeah, that's something you can hear almost. Do you do that 7 days a week, or is it a 5 or 6 day a week thing?
It's a 5-day-a-week podcast available at stash.normal.org.
And that's one of the largest podcasts in the country, isn't it?
Well, on iTunes, we are in the same category as, like, the president's addresses and the Army releases and different nonprofits and government organizations, and we're consistently in the top 20.
All right. Well, I know a lot of people are listening to it, and we're proud to help sponsor it. So,
Thank you so much, Paul. Have a good show.
Thank you. You too.
Great work. He does a great job.
He does. He's really blossomed into a wonderful announcer. I heard that XM has dropped his show, unfortunately, but the Stash podcast for Normal is a big outlet, and hopefully he'll find other outlets for his talent in the near future. I heard he's going to focus on helping Oregon Normal now instead of that, so and National Normal. So.
I was really sad about him getting canceled, but my wicked little mind, I said, "Yay, he's coming back to the meetings."
Yeah, that's what I heard. He's been missing coming to the meetings.
Really exciting.
Because he was taping this thing on Saturday morning, just happened to coincide with Oregon Normal's twice a month medical marijuana meetings for medical patients, and so we'll be happy to see Russ there on the stage and after the show or after the event as well.
Yeah,
I like the new place where you're doing that at. It's at 700 Northeast Deacon Street. Isn't that the right address?
Yes.
In the Village Ballroom, right above a comically named restaurant, Rump Slappers.
Rump Spankers.
Rump Spankers. Okay, Rump Spankers.
Is it Spankers or Smackers?
I think it's Slappers.
Okay.
Rump Slappers. What is it,
We've gotten
folks?
the name totally wrong. I'm so sorry out there, Eric and Shelley, but I think it's Rump Smackers.
I think I'm right.
Okay.
Okay, you could be.
I think it's Rump Spanker.
Wouldn't say.
The food is
right.
excellent. The food is excellent. And I got to try their toad pie next time I'm out there, but everything there is really nice. It's a wonderful venue, light and bright, and everybody likes it.
Yeah.
So we're very
nice
happy.
people.
I like it better than the one there. I mean, it was a nice venue at Mount Tabor Theater, but the walls were all painted black.
It was very
and it was dark.
Yeah.
And
not good for people with visual problems and patients. So
the Village Ballroom is huge. We've got to figure out some way to get
ramps.
Yeah, ramps for
We are trying to work that out. It's very steep, though, so we are very concerned with safety factors, and we're going to work that out, though, as soon as we can. But it is one of our big concerns. And actually, we haven't run into any problems as of yet, although we will try, seriously, to get it taken care of. Thank you, people.
We have just a couple of items here that we'd like to show you that have made their way to the stage. I didn't actually bring them in tonight, but it's nice to see other people have. We have this nifty hemp moisturizer lotion from Malibu Tan for dry skin. It's Hydrotan Corporel, something like that. But it's hemp lotion made with hemp seed oil. Next door, we have this Purple Bud. What's it called again?
Purple Punch.
Purple Punch. Very fresh and fragrant. Someone's also brought these nifty candies in the shape of, I think that's an oak leaf. That's not a, looks like, well, they smell like herb. But they're like a candy, a green candy. It's nifty. Then next door to that, we have a picture of our friend who left us this week, Will Flowers. We'd like to dedicate this show to the memory of Will Flowers, and we know we've got another spirit helper out there helping us on another level now. And then we have Effa Gold Hemp Oil, cold pressed hemp oil. You can actually pick this up at Fred Meyer's now. And then
this is
Hemp Zap.
This is excellent for MMJ. What is it?
TMJ.
TMJ. When
which
your
is
jaw locks up on you, it really works well.
It's made in Eugene by a fellow down there, longtime supporter Jerry Shapiro, and he's got his Merry Hempsters products in all little stores all over the world now. And then here is some 100% hemp cord. And, of course, that's been a traditional use of cannabis for eons. And
Hemp for victory.
Yep, you can look at shards of pottery from China that are 12,000 years old, and they have hemp twine embedded in them. So cannabis has been processed into twine for at least 12,000 years. It's a long time.
It's forever, and it needs to go on forever. We need to go back to those roots.
That's the whole reason it was made illegal, I believe, to protect the petrochemical industry.
Oh, sure.
And when we legalize marijuana, hemp will return to its rightful place in our economy. And it won't be long, baby.
No.
Okay.
With your help, if you get out there and make calls, because together we can change everything. Look at the change that happened.
That's right.
Who would have ever thought that America could live up to some of its promise? But we need to push it further.
We've got to thank you all for watching. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing, Madeline?
Don't forget to come out to the Oregon Normal meeting at Village Ballroom. Go on our website, ornorml.org, February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
I want to thank you for watching. We're going to go out with the tunes, Mr. Tim Pate, and tune in next week and help us restore hemp. Good night.
Get involved.